Hi friends, this is Vema Reddy. So in today's video, we will see a few more functions on how to filter the data. Uh, in case if you are not seen the video, last video, so it is kind of a part two video. It is sequence of the previous video. So we were working on some use case where we were trying to concatenate all the filter out the record to do the transformation. Here is my input file. So this I'm trying to transforming it to an output of this. It is typically I'm trying to do the group by. So as part of this, we are trying in part of achieving this solution, we are trying to use multiple functions. We are going through one by one functions. In the last video, we have seen how to make the unique records, and this video, we will just go through the how to loop through the records and filter the records. So if you are not seen the first video, you can just go to the YouTube and just type the Workato functions. So you come down to the this video. So you can just watch this video for the Workato functions and then come back to the next video. Okay. So with that, let's get started. So first thing is as part of this, we- how do we filter the records in the how do we filter the records in the Workato? So the Workato functions already have two types of ways you can do the filtering. There could be many things also, but one of the thing what we are trying to go with the where is the function? Where is the function? So when you have a list and you can apply the where class, a list is nothing but an array, and you can apply the function where and you write your criteria. So for example, if you took at the same example what Workato has provided, if you see this example, okay, so you can see that there's a list of contacts have been given. So there are a lot of examples have been given here. So let me just take a look at. Okay, so this is the list of contacts. So in this the same example has been used for multiple functions here. So you can see the list of contacts. This is typically called as a hash in Ruby. Hash in a Ruby. So I just did a search and replace with this symbol with is equal and greater than symbol with a colon and this single quotes with the double quotes to make this as a proper JSON format so that we can apply these functions. So what we need to do is like we have to apply the functions here. A where function. The where function you can apply the function on array, and this where function can return the filtered results. So what are the values supports is by default it applies the equal. You can see that equal if is the first is the parameter one and then parameter two, then what is the condition you want to do. If you don't specify any condition, it will be default will be equals will be done, or else you can specify the conditions in the within the first argument itself. You can give it some space and then you can try to put your all the characters like boolean operators greater than less than all these things. So you can also do the chaining things also here. You can also do the chaining things also like one after another one like this. You can add here in the same where class, or else you can also add in another where class also. Like you can add in another way where class also. You can do the multiple things here. You can, for example, if you want to do the chaining, you can see first where class and second where class. So to just in action, I just have created this one. So let's first try to see what we have done here. So here we have a JSON document will be there. So the JSON document, I use the parse JSON document. So I kept all these sample document here. So what I written is I have written the function here. Like I want to, so the requirement trying to achieve here is, so the first thing we have multiple. So I'm first trying to filter the state by state. So you can see that two different states are there with CA. I'm trying to particularly looking about the state called CA. And so that with this record, we'll get the two records, first record and second record. And the second condition I'm trying to look at is the company revenue. Company revenue is greater than 1,000. That's the second criteria I'm looking. This is 1,000 and this is the 3000. So the first record will get filtered. Only this record will filter. And if you still want to apply the filter criteria on even to just to show you how you can use the filter on the nested child. For example, under description, the description is an object here. Under this, we have few more a couple of columns here, keys, thus a summary. So how do we apply? Now I also applied under the description, summary value should be this one. Then only give me that particular object record. So to achieve that one, what I did is first is array, because the Workato CSV parser will give us the list output here. From that list output, so I just written like you can just write all the things here. For example, as and when you start typing, or else you can see the space, see shift space. When you see shift space, you will get the tooling support. Or else, for example, now you want to go and type the where. As and when you're typing, you will get all the things here. You can see that the column name you want to compare, the value you want to match. So where condition and value. For example, here they already given something like this one here. You can put multiple conditions with this one also. But for just simplicity, you can have a multiple child condition, something like, for example, nested hierarchy one, you can add with dot notations. For example, now whenever you type the conditions, right, you just hover your mouse here. So it says the API name. API name is state. Okay, API name is state, and then colon, and then what is the next? I'm looking the value called CA. So you can just try to see this one. What are the values will be coming? The moment you run it, it will return the two records as expected. Okay, the first one is this one, state CA, second one also CA. Now let's apply the condition on the second condition here. Either you can add with comma and then, or else you can add also chaining here. Also you can do the chaining here. So I did the chaining here, and company revenue, I will just put 3000. Since the condition is there here, I by default it will be don't take the equal. I want to put greater than or equal to, I want to put 1000. So greater than 1000 records only I want to fetch it. So now you run one more time. So remove the space. I think this space should not be there. I think that's what it's trying to tell. Okay, you can see that now. Wait, I think this was the previous execution or what. So now let's go to exit and then go to test jobs and then get the latest one. Okay, you can see that. Okay, I think it is still giving company revenue. Let me just check what is issue here. Edit the recipe. Is this the column name is correct? Oh, I put greater than or equal. I want to put greater than only, so that only one record will be coming. Okay, you can see that only one record is available. And now if you want to filter on the nested one again, you can also put one more where you put the description here. Under description, you have one more column called summary. You can just put summary. Okay, so now this is the third condition we're verifying. So when you see this third condition, so this third condition it typically applies, but it return the same record because it's a, you can see always you click on the test finish one. So this will be your latest execution. So now you have what you are returning is array. But if you want to get the first record instead of array, what you can do, either you can give the index of 0, or even you can get this one. So you will return the object now. See, instead of earlier you're giving an array, now you're returning the object. If you want a specific element you want to get, right? So you can just use the pluck. For example, now you want to get only the email address, for example. Okay, it says that error calculating input for field, no implicit conversion of string to integer. So why it is converting the string to integer? I think the pluck should be applied on the array only. Okay, you can see that. So like this, you can go and apply the as many functions you want by applying the chaining things here. So that way you will get the required. So this is how you can use it. First, you can use the condition and then value. If you don't give any operator, conditional operator, a Boolean operator, so logical operator, what we can, or logical operator, I think you can call. So if you none of the operator you can, by default it performs equal. If you want to specify anything in the first argument itself, you put the condition. You can add as many number of chainings you want to do. So similarly, now let's go back to the example what we have gone through in the previous video to enlarge it. Now with this, now we know how to use the Workato functions. So now with this, let's go and use the Workato how we can apply the filter things. So to quickly run through this one to show you like what exactly typically is doing, you can see first we are doing the parsing here. In the parsing, we were able to the parsing we were just trying to do the book here. Okay, list of books, and then I applied the unique values here. I applied the unique values, and then I'm trying to batching it here. I'm parse the CSV to this one, and then a list here. The list also shows, it's all like showing like a different ways you can get the unique values. Okay, this is also you getting the unique values. Here we only extracted the unique values for the generic column. So like this, all the things here. Now we don't want to do this one. Now this is just for showing the previous one. I want to comment out this one. If you want to comment out, you click on the skip. So now you can see this is the one. Okay, so now you can see this. Now I don't want to return. I don't want to go ahead and give anything here. Okay, so now I want to create a variable here. Okay, I want to create a variable here. Variable here. So you create a variable here. You name variable as unique genres. Okay, you can just give this value and put the value as, okay, not this one. I want to apply this. You can just drag it wherever you want. Okay, you put it here. Why I'm dragging it and keeping it here is I want to have this function to take work to operate on the output of this one pass XML. Okay, now you can see that this value will give me, I can just run. So this value will give me the list of uniques, and it stores in a variable. This is the one because I already commented out here. Sometimes this Workato has some issue. It won't load the latest value. You see the variable here, it returns the array. But see, the content was storing as an array, but actual this is a string type. Actually, this is string type. Now, what I wanted to do is with this variable, I want to run a loop. I want to run a loop. Why? Because this is my input document. This is my input document. On this, I am able to figure it out the input unique values of fiction. I want to filter the books which has the same value called fiction. Okay, I want to grab those list of books which has the same thing. So for that, I'm going to run a loop here. Else you can call it. I think this is not an app basically. So you can just click on. You can see repeat for each. So repeat for each. You can see ideally the repeat for each only takes the list only. Only take the list only. For example, if I just move to this one here, if I unskip this one, if you go to click on repeat for each, you can see that the list, the moment I click on, you can see that this is changed to clickable button. So I can map it this one. Right. But similar because the repeat for each is basically expects the give input as a list and then process each one at a time. If you default mode is one at a time, or else you can process in batch also, but that we are not going to see. So, but whereas the output, because the parse will give the list output, but whereas I don't want to use the parse, I want to use the variable here. The variable is of type is string here. You can see the output of variable is string here. So, but how do I use? I think there is a way you can still use the output of this one. So, for example, now you click on here, right? You click on here, you cannot able to drag it. Okay, you click on here, not able to drag it, but don't click on this one. First, you go to this variable, don't click on this input list box, expand this, and then you just drag it. It still takes it. So at runtime, it verifies what is the value here. Now to prove that one, is this really looping through or not, right? So what you can do is you can just trying to extract the value of the last record. Okay, maybe you want to, because we know that this will be 3 records are there. I want to put a log here. I want to put a log here and I want to put a log here and then I just want to log this 2 underscore s. So what it will do is it will go and because for each it will iterate over the loop. So it will capture the output of the every current element. Now let's see, because by default the output will show you cannot test recipe because some steps have been okay. I don't want to, this is empty one. Now click on refresh test recipe. You can see that value was coming as a previous value. And you can also see the index also. What is the index it is saying? It is index, it is going for 2. It means 0, 1, 2. It's a third iteration. It means it is looping through. But how do I access the value of this particular item? You can see the item is going as like this. So it is a key is a value by default because it's no, if you don't specify anything, the key is value. So similarly, I'm taking the same condition. Similarly, I'm taking the same condition here. So here I want to create one more, here I want to create one more variable here, final list. Okay, I won't keep anything for the final list. So now I want to just apply this value, whether I'm able to get the filtered list. For example, I want to apply the filter list. Where is my list here? My list is coming from the here book. So from this book, what I need to do is I want to apply the where condition here. From this where condition, what is my value I wanted to filter? I want to apply the filter on the generate. So you can just put, and then I want to match this value to whatever the value that is currently coming in the iteration of the loop. How do I get that value here? We already seen how to get this value. This, if you want to get the value, you have to apply the filter. Okay, so apply the filter. So apply the filter. So now I want to apply the filter. So apply the filter. So now I want to apply the filter. So apply the filter. So now I want to apply the filter. So apply the filter. So now I want to apply the filter. So apply the filter. So now I want to apply the filter. So apply the filter. So now I want to apply the filter. So apply the filter. So now I want to apply the filter. So apply the filter. So now I want to apply the filter. So apply the filter. So now I want to apply the filter. So apply the filter. So now I want to apply the filter. So apply the filter. So now I want to apply the filter. So apply the filter. So now I want to apply the filter. So apply the filter. So now I want to apply the filter. So apply the filter. So now I want to apply the filter. So apply the filter. So now I want to apply the filter. So apply the filter. So now I want to apply the filter. So apply the filter. So now I want to apply the filter. So apply the filter. So now I want to apply the filter. So apply the filter. So now I want to apply the filter. So apply the filter. So now value as a single quotes. You put the value in single quotes. Okay. So what it will do is on the book list, whatever the current looping is there in that loop, it just apply the where condition. Now let's see the output, what it is coming here. Click on the view here. I think this was not loaded. Let's go to the jobs. Okay, you can see the with that romance generally like they have two items are there. Okay, so like this now it means it typically our condition what we are trying to achieve is already been working. So now let's put the similar condition. Now I want to concatenate all these values. Okay, because the target is I want to generate the output of like this. Right, first let's try to use the variable here. Let's put update variable. You can search for variable. In that variable, you keep the variables as output update because I wanted to update the every iteration. I want to append that value for the final list. So how do I append that one? Because when it comes, because by default is the first one, I don't see anything. So how do I put that as a first one? For first record, I don't need to put any comma something and appending I am not required. So for that, I put the if condition here. So in the if condition, what I wanted to do, in case if my first is true, okay, if it is a first index, if it is a first index, what I need to do is I just want to only update this one here. You just drag it here. If it is only first, what I need to do is whatever this function we written here, you copy that one. Go to formula mode and paste this one. So now you will get this variable here only for the first time, but I want to append the value as like this. I want to put this value like this. Okay, how do I get that value here? You come here, starting. Always you whenever you want to put double quotes, okay, you type double quotes. And in that, what you want to put? You want to put the current iteration as a grouping key. The grouping key, what you want to put? So always is separator is plus. Okay. So now I want to put this value here. Okay. To make these things as visible, right? So this should be, I want to keep as escape this one. Then I want to keep this as a plus. So that value, again, I'm going to replace this with slash so that either you can keep it in single quotes or double quotes, anything is fine. But now this value, I want to replace it with same value. This is the value I'm going to replace this. Not required because this list is this step 7 output, that is nothing for each will give an object. In that object, if you want particular key, you have to use this with square brackets kind of thing, because in the object in Ruby it's called as hash. So whenever you want to fetch the values in the hash, you have to take it with the, I think you have to apply this one also. Control X. Okay, so in arrays are indexed based on the position or index. Arrays are a list, but whereas hashes will be indexed with the keys. So now you can see that this is all the values it's been coming up here. Now I am able to see the friction is first one because it's executed for the first time only. Friction, you can see all the values has been came. Okay, for the final list, the value is like this. Now, similarly, I want to combine for other values also. You can add one more condition here. Okay, add one more condition here. If it is a list is, if it is the list is last, if this is the last one. So for the last one, what you need to do is you have to append the previous one to current one and don't put any comma. Okay, for time being, I'm not putting any comma here. So now you can just put, now you can add one more condition here that as serves as a else condition here. You can see now. Now this is the same variable. I want to copy this one here. Copy, paste. But what I need to do is if it is not a first one, if it is a last one, I don't need to append anything, right? So the comma, because each and every items, because there is no straight way to append this one. So only thing is first we got this much now. This is the first iteration. The second iteration, what we need to have the comma. All right. How do we get the comma is you will get, so the second iteration should be first iteration output plus second iteration output. Like this you need to do. But in the last, you need to get the output of the previous one, output of the previous one plus the current one. No comma will be required at last. So that's where this is the last part. We already have it. So now only thing what we need is, okay, we have to append the output of the previous variable here, the final list here, final list, and then you have to put one comma over here. Okay, so this is the one. So now you click on close, you'll come back. So now this is the last one. But whereas if you are doing for the first one, what you need to do is similarly here, you can put the comma here. I think typically not required, I think maybe, because if it is, if you're keeping the comma in the first place itself, every list will be coming here. Okay, now let's put this into, let's suppress this block. Okay, so now let's skip here, delete. So at end of the thing, what we are trying to print is, because this is the outside of the loop here. If you are confused, you can just minimize this one here. Okay, okay, that is inside loop only. So what I can do, I want to take out of the loop here. So now you can just go ahead and print the output of this logger. Let's clear. Want to put the final list. And typically not required formula mode. You can just run through this one. Oops, I should run one more time. Click on refresh and then run. Okay, let's go here. You can see fiction is came. Next, dystopian came. And this is the romance is also came. You can see square bracket is ended. So now what you need to do, you just have to wrap this one. Second, I think I need to do the control Z. I need to do wrap only this part. So rest of the things already there now. So now let's go to this one. So you can use this one, minimize something, compress. So you just copy this one. So go to the formula mode and then you add this one. You put in single quotes everything. Okay. So now with this one, so now in this, what you need to do is you have to because in this, if you observe this one, right? So if we are getting something like this equal to symbols or something we're coming, because this is typically is giving, if you look at this output, right? So click on refresh one more time. Now test recipe. Go back. Jobs. Click on this job. Okay, you can see that this all the values are coming here. This is the your actual output here. But if you see all these values, you have to replace these ones. Have to replace these ones with colon. I think that becomes your proper JSON will be there. For example, now let me just how do we do that replacement here is replacement you can do with typically with there is a one more function called replacement. So go here, then you can see gsub replace parts of the text string. What I need to replace? I need to replace this one. So but equal to was not copying typically. I just typing it here. You put this one with colon. Okay. Now you can just test recipe. Okay. Now you can see this should have been proper JSON now. If it is a proper JSON, use if you have tools plugins is installed, pretty print. Something else is missing. It seems like one syntax error. Unterminated object. So the corresponding thing is here. Okay, every array have these items. This is also looks good. I think this is looks good. Yeah. So you can see like with this, how many functions we gone through this one. So the functions what we gone through is where condition, we have manipulating with the strings and then replacing the strings and then appending. um so some of the functions, not functions, I can say it's actions, if conditions, so and else condition. Like you can see many things we have seen. So I think this will have might have get you a very good understanding of how you can use the functions and how you can use the if else constraint to get your desired logic. So typically, like for this all things required to do this kind of thing is really not required to do that much. To this is example is to just show you how you can be able to do these functions to do the extensive data transformations as per your requirement. But otherwise, if you want to just get the output of this one to this output, you can simply write one JavaScript. So that JavaScript will be able to do, or else you can write an XSLT also you can be able to do. But if you just want to go with only low code, you don't want to go with the custom scripting or anything, this is the just option I have just showed you. Otherwise, you can just go to the, because there is a scripting options available here. You can go to the scripting option here, and then you can you can see JavaScript. So you can write the Java snippet here, and there is some function called reduce or for loop something. You can with that you will be able to typically you do easily. Okay, but I will try to make it in another video, but not in this video. Okay, I think that's all I wanted to cover in this video. In the previous video and this video, I want to get the output of how we can do the grouping with Workato inbuilt functionalities by manipulating the data with a lot of functions. So this gives like extensive understanding about the functions, and the functions really do very good job in terms of data transformations. Okay, so that's all for this video. I think it will be a little bit lengthy, this video. In case if you have any questions or doubts, please reach out to me through the comments. Thank you.